All you have to have is an active Falcon membership and you will have the opportunity to access our in-house fund. Yes, you are hearing that correctly. Once the spaces are gone, I mean it, they're gone. So let me give you some explanations. In this video, you're gonna understand why I don't only trade one pair. By the end of the video, you're gonna have an immense amount of clarity as to what the pros and the cons are. Recently, I've had a lot of messages that people are going through so much drawdown. I aim to give you some solutions. I think this is going to be very helpful for you. And for those of you that have been affected with all of the prop firm drama that's happening in the world right now, I've got some more solutions for you. So you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video. So before I explain to you why I've never been the biggest fan of only trading one pair, I'm going to explain a really important update when it comes to our in-house fund. We've had a whole bunch of questions about it, and that's kind of prompted this video as well. One of the main reasons why I don't trade only one pair is that I've got a lot of experience. I've been trading for 15 years. Limiting yourself to only one instrument has its pros and cons, and I'll explain all of that. And there are naturally pros and cons to everything. And there's also what I call anomalies. I don't like it when people base their whole trading career off of a random 2 to 3 people that they know that has managed to do something. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm saying it's not normally for the masses, and you'll understand what I mean. Before we move further into this episode, if you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. The more you invest into the channel, the more the channel invests back into you. We love creating these videos and we really appreciate the love and support. But for those of you that have been affected with the prop firm drama that's happening right now, I encourage you to look at the links in the description. We're doing something very, very completely off guard. We would never ever do this. And I'll explain in this video a little bit as to why. For the month of March, all you have to have is an active Falcon membership and you will have the opportunity to access our in-house fund. Yes, you are hearing that correctly. So let me give you some explanations. Usually you'd have to be in Falcon for 6 months minimum before you have access to the in-house fund. In certain scenarios, we allow 3 months. It really does depend on the skill level of the trader that's come in. But for the month of March, all you need is an active Falcon membership. Now, there are going to be a limited amount of spaces. As you can imagine, we don't want too many in, but we also want to give some of you the opportunity to be able to have access to that. I know you've gone through a lot of stress. I get it. The reputation of our fund, we want to keep that. So we've figured out a way that we can manage that and ensure that, right, you're not coming in to gamble. If that's your goal anyway, don't be coming in thinking you can just gamble on our fund because you won't get anywhere. You may as well just completely ignore this. However, if you're someone who's serious, you've been affected, you had a whole bunch of capital, and now you're in a position where you feel a little bit worried, a bit frustrated with, you don't know really what's going on with meta quotes, etc. We've got all the solutions. You don't need to worry about that. But the goal here is to give you guys an opportunity to be able to have access to our in-house fund. The goal is to always to hedge our fund in the first place. Your current solution or your route in is via Rewired or being a Falcon member for a period of time. Now, the reason why we don't allow just anyone or someone who's just fresh into Falcon to have access to our fund, because we want them to go through the training. But I'm not under the illusion that many people don't have access to all of these different funds. So from my experience of what I've realized over the last few months, it doesn't matter. If I tell someone right off the back, right, they've been involved in Falcon for 1 week, look, you've got to wait minimum of 3 to 6 months before you have access to the fund. Like, get your foundations right first, become technically sound, mentally sound, and then you can, of course, go ahead. They're still applying for assessments and spending, £1,500 to £2,000 when they shouldn't be doing it. So what is the playoff? If you're going to be doing that with these funds that you don't know whether they're going to be around, you're burning your cash, which is painful for me to see that. You're literally burning your money away. I would rather, even though you've just got into Falcon, I would rather, and on a small way, we're not going to be giving you the maximum allocation, I would rather you be able to have access to our fund knowingly you can scale up in the right way and you're not coming in to gamble. Right guys, so this is how simple it is to apply for the in-house fund. Once you become a member, you go to this tab where you've got funding, you click on funding, and then you're going to see where you can apply here. So apply today, and it's as simple as that. Currently you can see the restriction is 6 months, but we're going to be waivering that. This was actually our wealth creation funded traders meet in Dubai. That's absolutely incredible, and you can be part of that mission as we scale up towards 100 million. Now with these traders, we have so many traders getting to this level because we have an infrastructure that most people don't have. So this is our original goal. We are allowing you that unique opportunity to be part of that. After this, not happening. So if you do want to take advantage of that, I would be jumping on it as soon as possible. And then after the spaces have gone, they've gone. So for the month of March and March only, don't ask us again. I'm giving you opportunity. It's probably going to be about 100 spaces and that's it. So if this is something of interest to you, either DM us. Once the spaces are gone, I mean it, they're gone. We never ever do this. And this is more actually speaking to our current Falcon members. If you've been here for a couple of months and you've been on the edge, ready to go, now is your time to get involved. And I'm confident based off of you've gone through the Falcon mechanics, you've gone through all of the training, you've got everything there that puts you in pole position to scale up. We already have achieved the millions in allocation and now we're going to the moon. In the next 3 years, you're going to see us hit that goal and you can either be part of that or you can spectate. You can either always look for the cheapest assessments or the way that you think is the fastest route and it's going to take you a whole bunch of time. Or you can do it in the right way and go, enough is enough, I'm fed up with all this garbage that's happening. I want to go with sustainability, security, where I know they have my best interests at heart because they're going to be around. Why? Because we thought long term from the first place. This is what we do, we protect our students. We're not thinking of any gimmicks. So if that's of interest to you, links in the description, you know where it is. Now on to the key message of this video, which is, why is it after my 15 years of experience, I've chosen to stay away from just trading one pair? Before we get any further into this episode, make sure you are subscribed to the Market Brief. It is our free weekly newsletter. Every single Monday morning, you will get free weekly analysis delivered straight to your inbox. A few minutes a day and you'll be up to date with the financial markets. Links are in the description to subscribe to the Market Brief. So let me explain to you why I don't only trade one pair. Disclaimer, are there people that can do it? Yes, you'll be able to show me someone who just trades gold, for example, or just trades platinum, or just trades silver, but they're few and far between. They're a very small percentage of people. Now, recently, and this links back to the prop firm side of things, we've had a lot of people reach out naturally that are in Rewired. They want to have access to the fund and they've got the access to be able to do that. These are people trading all different systems. So Rewired is not specific to the Falcon system. Psychology is psychology. We all need it if you want to get to the elite level. However, well, the common conversations that I've been having back and forth is that naturally we've got a community there. They've messaged me, they've asked me some questions about, look, I'm going through a lot of drawdown. Essentially, the common consensus that I'm seeing is that people are in a whole bunch of drawdown. They either trade Euro USD, right, and only that, or they trade Pound USD, only that, or dollar Swiss, or maybe a variation of a few. So it's either one pair or it's like a couple, or maybe pound yen into the mix as well, which 4 is actually okay. I'm not completely opposed to just trading a select few, but more so just one has its pros and cons. So going back to the same thing, is it possible? Yes. Do you know certain people that have done it profitably for years? You probably do, and they may be a master at their craft. I'm saying that not everybody can do that, and not everybody should focus on that. Because what comes with the territory? Now, I've been trading for 15 years, so I know my shit when it comes to market cycles. And a lot of the times when people are having conversations with me, they've only traded 2 to 3 years. So in my head, I'm thinking, you've not really experienced much. You can go through, and the market is very unforgiving. So this is really no shot towards anyone. Trading as hard as it is, but you could go through 2, 3 years of having beautiful market conditions in the sense of how you trade. It just flows, it just works. You could scale up on capital, you could do really well. And if you hit a squeeze, and I mean a long, long squeeze, it can be grueling, drawdown after drawdown after drawdown. Now, you might think, well, I've got the data, I'm here and there. What I've noticed is that a lot of these traders have not accepted what comes with the territory. It's a little bit like if you take a trade and then as soon as you go into a bit of drawdown in the trade, then you're upset with it or you're trying to manage it too much. You didn't accept the risk. So you never fully accept that it would go in the opposite direction in the first place. So you haven't learned how to accept risk. It's a little bit like that with what's happening with these traders, where they're looking at the data and going, it's actually quite possible that I could go through a minus 10% drawdown streak and that still works. So it's still profitable. There's nothing wrong with the system. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying you could still go through that and then be profitable after. But what happens when they are going through this, and I know these people, right? They're in minus 10, minus 11, minus 12% drawdown. They're not comfortable with it. They're not happy with it. They're creating videos after videos, Instagram reels after Instagram reels, and posts after posts, as to trying to look for validation or look for approval or look for reassurance. Think about it. If you're confident in your edge, why would you be making all of this content of reassurance that you're on the right track? Surely if you look to your data, you'd go, look, here's what it is, comes with the territory. But intuitively, you're not comfortable with it. And I don't blame you, because most people are not comfortable with that. Imagine being the trader, right, that's got 700K under management, and then you've gone through 12 losses, and for whatever reason, you lost all of it. You're not actually a bad trader. Your strategy is your strategy. It has its pros and cons like anyone, but you've gone through all of that because you limited yourself to one instrument. So that is usually my problem with it, that the people that do it really, really well, they are a master of their craft. They probably have a lot more experience than you. So they're able to cut through those noisy, messy trades when it goes through a squeeze so they can be profitable. But where you don't know that yet, and you might be 5 years away from that, you're trying to scale up this capital, which I'm hoping is the goal that you're trying to do. You're trying to scale up this capital, quit your job, go full time, do what you want to do. But then you're doing this yo-yo of getting funded and then losing all of it because you're limiting yourself to one pair. At least if you're going to trade your Euro USD, have Pound USD, have GJ in the mix, and potentially gold as well. Like, have a few bits of variation so you're not limited to just that. Or be quiet, accept the fact that you can go to -14, -12%, and you shouldn't be bothered about it. You should be going, right, this comes with the territory. And if you can accept that, not moan about it, not complain, all the power to you. Crack on, trust in your edge, and it will come through to you eventually. But intuitively, I think you already know it's not really enjoyable going through that much of drawdown. We understand losses are part of the game, but it has to be to an element of that it's just not like bam, bam, loss after loss after loss. At what point do you think you're going to lose your edge mentally and make more mistakes? That's not an enjoyable way to trade. You're just going to be stressed a whole bunch of time. So food for thought anyway. If you want a part 2 on this, I can actually show you from a technical point of view. Feel free to leave a comment, and I think it could be really useful to you. But quite often when people have these conversations with me, I can usually tell they've been trading under 5 years, because you've been trading longer than that, you would have experienced these cycles and realized the benefit of having more instruments in play.